Morning. It's April 12th, 2016. I will call the Wright County Board meeting to order. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. The minutes of April 5th.
Mr. Chair, I would have one correction to the minutes. If on page 2, following the paragraph discussing the 5-year plan public meeting, we missed the motion and second. Motion by Potter, second by Hewsom to set the road tour date for May 16th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
I'd like to just add that in the minutes.
Anybody else have anything? If not, is there a motion to approve the minutes with that one addition?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Delight and second by Potter. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. The agenda. Anybody have anything to add or amend on the agenda?
Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll second it.
Motion by Hewsom, second by Delight. Any further discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. You know, I should mention Commissioner Burrell is not here today due to the passing of his mother this morning, so that's why Commissioner Burrell is absent. Okay, back down to timed items.
No, consent agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Delight. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. 9:05, Tony Rasmussen, Wright County Assessor. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Chairman Swatsky, Commissioners. I just want to take a moment here to introduce you to our newest member of our team in the Assessor's Office. Bryce Nelson's our newest appraiser, and we are very happy to have him on board.
Okay, where did Bryce come from?
I did quite a few years as an adjuster with Married and Family, and I was a project manager with Serve Pro right before I came.
Oh. Well, welcome to Wright County.
Welcome. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in this morning.
yeah.
Thank you.
Do you live in, do you live in the Wright County?
I live about a mile away.
Okay.
Okay.
Really close.
He's in the Wright County.
Yeah? So you live and you work in the Wright County now, so you got it made.
Welcome.
Well, there's great atmosphere in the assessor's office, so if you got a great attitude, you'll fit in just fine.
So
Yeah,
far, so good.
yeah. Wonderful.
So then we've also answered the other question that's been plaguing us up here. There's only one S in the Rasmussen, right? Not two?
Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, just the one.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're the first one I know with one S.
How about the first S? Is there only one S with the first S? Okay, yeah.
We'll have a little saying, no something in the Rasmussen, no rear end in that Rasmussen.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tony.
Welcome.
Yep, thanks.
Thanks, Denise.
Virgil Hawkins, Wright County Highway Engineer. Good morning, Virgil.
Morning, Chairman and Board of Commissioners. This morning I have one item for your consideration, and it is to approve a detour agreement with MnDOT for them using our Highway 3 and 35 for temporary detour for some resurfacing they're doing on Trunk Highway 12.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
is this the one that's from Dassel coming in? That's why they have to do this roundabout,
Correct.
this detour here? Just want to make sure that's out there for people to.
Yep.
Because I
Yeah, they're
know-
doing some work on 12 west of Cokato,
Okay.
and so they're needing to detour using some Meeker County highways and then coming into Wright County on our 35 and then 3.
Do we have a time frame?
Yes, we do. It's,
I was looking at it, it didn't jump out at me.
gets spelled out here in the agreement.
Yeah, here, it says expiration date is when the state removes all the signs, returns the detour, trunk highway detour to the county and pays for the detour compensation.
Yeah, it's 12-day duration, so it's just, I guess I don't see the specific date it would go on, but I'm sure once they start work here in probably May, I would guess.
I think you gotta go on the website to find out. And that,
So it'll only be about 12 days, so.
Yeah, it's very short duration detour.
Yeah. Is that business days or just
That would be calendar days.
calendar days?
to everybody else know, on Trunk Highway 12, there's a lot of little segments of overlay all the way out to Wilmer in different segments up like this one. And with coming into Wright County, that's what, a year or two away before they start touching pieces of that. So we're gonna have a couple of these in the next couple of years coming at us for other areas within the county.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for Wright County to enter into MnDOT agreement number 1002847 with the State of Minnesota Department of Transportation for the.
I'll second that.
Motion by Delight, second by Potter. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Mark?
Yeah, aye.
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 Resolution carries 4-0.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Virgil. And Abby Dahl, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here.
Our
To kick it
pleasure.
off, I would like to introduce Roxy Foster. She's the Regional Director for the Minnesota Communities Caring for Children.
Good morning.
Good morning.
For the record, my name is Roxy Foster. I work for Minnesota Communities Caring for Children, which is a Minnesota chapter for Prevent Child Abuse Minnesota, but I live in Wright County.
Oh, yes.
I had to commute for a while, but it was worth it. Well, we come before you today to really honor the county for the work that you've been doing in preventing child abuse. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, so we're here to honor that month. We know that by preventing child abuse, we save incredible amounts of money to preventing families for coming into the county for county services. But also in the county, you have incredible services, and Abby, I'll turn this over to Abby in just a minute, but the Crisis Nursery partners with us to do some mutual self-help groups for parents. We also provide them with a lot of the information that you've received. This resource book that you all have is fresh off the press from the U.S. Department of Human Services, which talks about building community, building hope. So these are things that really talk about what families need to be able to be successful. On the inside, you also have a little one-pager about what we do as an organization. And the Crisis Nursery is, as you know, a nonprofit organization. A lot of the other programs that we've held up that you do in the county are the Parent Support Outreach Program, which children who are not screened in to child protection then are referred to the Parent Support Outreach Program. The staff person there refers a lot of people to the Crisis Nursery for the support group. You have a home visiting, family home visiting, which we know are one of the strongest evidence base for helping families to get off on the right track. SNAP, which is a supplemental income nutrition program, and of course your child care assistance. So those are all things that strengthen families, and we want to look at the strengths of families. We know we all have weaknesses, but we all have strengths too. So I'm going to turn it over to Abby, and I congratulate you for your award.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roxy. So I am here. So the award kind of came about when I joined on with the Crisis Nursery in July. I really wanted to take our program and really highlight the work that we're doing within the county for child abuse and neglect prevention. So my hope is that going forward throughout the month of April, throughout the community or throughout the county, we will highlight the work that we're doing, and we'll pull together as a community and really use this month to highlight those activities and show support to the families in the county that there are programs out there for them to seek help and guidance in working through whatever situation that they're going through. So I'm going to run through a quick little overview of our program, real quick for you guys. Sorry. Okay, so again, we're the Crisis Nursery serving Wright County. We serve all areas within the county. There's a list of them there. But basically, our overall program is to ensure the safety of families within Wright County, offering services to families that might not have resources available to them. And just to reiterate, all services that we do offer to families are free to the families. We do outreach, grant funding, and those types of things to ensure that we have the resources available to offer the services that we provide to families. All right, so just to reiterate, stress affects children in the home regardless of what type of stress the parents are going through. So we provide confidential, temporary, and strength-based resources for families with children age birth to age 17 living in Wright County. This is a change within the last 2 years. We were birth to 12, but we were seeing an increased number of families that had children within the 13 to 17-year-old age range, and obviously not to leave out any children that are still living in the home. This does vary a little bit as well. We have served families that have, say, a dependent 19-year-old based on some sort of mental health issue or something along those lines, where we will support that family for those reasons. So there are some exceptions to the age limit here. We do not determine a family's crisis for them. It's our belief that a family, if they're going through crisis means different things to everybody. Stress affects people differently. And so we invite everybody in. We do not turn anybody away. And whatever issue that they are going through, we work to alleviate whatever stress is in the home. A crisis may mean different things to different people. Sudden illness, family conflict, housing problems, unemployment, family dissolution or violence, mental illness, etc. The circumstances of daily life are changeable, and each person's ability to deal with stress changes and varies. So a couple of our services are listed here, as you'll see. We offer a 24-hour helpline that helps families with information, referrals, and just resources. Sometimes we have parents that call our 24-hour helpline in the middle of the night. They just need a sounding board. They just need somebody to speak to. They just need an outlet. A lot of the families that we deal with don't have the resources to be able to work through issues on their own, so that's what they use this platform for. We offer short-term crisis counseling, support visits, support and advocacy, resources and referrals, supplies, including diapers, wipes, gift cards, and household supplies, and these items are all brought in through community donations. We have a Circle of Parents group, and mental health services.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Go back to that previous slide, if you would.
Yeah.
Just curious on the mental health services and the short-term crisis counseling. Do you have people on staff that do that, or do you work with like Central Minnesota Health, Mental Health, or any of those?
We'll work with the county. With that, we do have a social worker on staff that does work with skills tests or skills with the families, but we outreach for a lot of those services. So our platform, or the way we kind of work with the mental health services, we're looking to expand the service so we can keep it in-house. But right now, the way our resources are, we have to outsource with the county and the state of Minnesota.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. So the most unique service that we provide is emergency crisis care. So we call this respite care. And what that is it can be an overnight stay for up to 72 hours in a shelter, respite, or with a licensed foster care provider. So this is a lot of our instances where we see parents that have mental health issues, suicidal, drug addiction, those types of things where the children need to be taken out of the home. And again, I want to reiterate that all of these actions are voluntary on behalf of the parent. So the parent has to contact us and say, I need my child to go somewhere for a period of 24 hours, 3 hours, whatever that looks like. And we work with different families within the county to provide this service. And then we also offer daycare. So we work very closely with Kids Haven here in Buffalo, and then other daycare providers within the county. And as parents need to, say mom and dad, there's a domestic violence situation, mom and dad are separated, mom needs to attend, go to a job interview or whatever to kind of get on her feet, that's where we'll offer the daycare services. And then also any court-ordered services, that's where we will offer the daycare to the parents. So this kind of just goes back to the mental health services for parents and their children with additional emotional behavior services through children's therapeutic services and support. So that's kind of our skills program that we offer. Individual and family skills in or at home. So a lot of times transportation isn't viable for these families. We have to go to them. And that is kind of a culmination of all of our services. We offer where we will go to the home. We don't expect that the families come to us because we know that that can be a hindrance to them getting the resources that they need. Individual and family therapy in or at home, diagnostic assessments. Most insurance covers our services, and then what insurances don't cover our services, then we help with the funding for that. There's no typical client, and this just kind of reiterates, we see all walks of life that come through our door. It can be very temporary to long-term. And like I said, we don't turn anybody away, so we just work with them to get the resources that they need. Some program stats, so a really cool thing for us, in 2015 compared to 2014, we had an increase of 91% in client contact. A lot of this came from our parent support group that we started here in Buffalo in partnership with ECFE. So some of our clients came from that. That is a program where families can come. We provide daycare for the 2-hour class, and then the parents go through a class where they learn about budgeting, how to properly use their WIC, stress management, really anything. The parents come up with a list of things that they would like to learn throughout the 28-week class, and then we cover those topics. We partner with Alina and also the University of Minnesota for this program as well. The other probably most dramatic increase that we had was the 395 phone consults. That doubled from 2014, which is great for us, just that families are starting to feel comfortable to reach out to us. And then we offered roughly 360 total days of overnight care, or of care. So that could be daycare or overnight care. And then we distributed roughly 5,000 packs of diapers to families as well. Why are crisis nurseries important? They benefit families, provide safety for children, reduce the need for more costly services, because parental stress increases the likelihood of child abuse and neglect, and the number of requests for services continues to increase. And this is just some outreach that we do for how people can help get involved. You will all see we have our spring fundraiser coming up on April 22nd. That's something else I would like to highlight. It's a really great event. It's our largest fundraiser that we do throughout the year. It's in Monticello. It's a Friday night. We're giving away a half-carat diamond, so that's kind of exciting. And then we have a lot of great auction items. Tom Kelly is actually our keynote speaker for the night, so that'll be pretty cool. So we're really excited. So if you guys are willing, you should pop in for a little bit. I would love to have you guys there. And we can certainly get you guys a table if that's something that you're interested in. So I wanted to make sure I highlighted that. Do you guys have any more questions for me or anything about the program?
I really appreciate, sorry, I swallowed wrong, so that's why I'm coughing. But all that you're doing, and there was a couple of your staff that came to one of our Rotary meetings a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And, knowing that there's a place, it's undisclosed location, but that there's places here in the county that we can get families safe, and you're doing a lot. So
Yeah, it's very
and I'll be at
unique.
the fundraiser on
Yeah.
the 22nd.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, we have a woman, actually, she was in a domestic violence situation. She's actually highlighted in the fundraiser packet there, and we were able to kind of get her set up with daycare. She got a new job, new housing, everything was kind of set up for her, all without her partner being aware, and he was a stay-at-home, like he didn't leave the house. So it was very, very, probably one of my biggest success stories since I've been with the program. I didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
I was more outreach. I want to be very clear. Consuelo, they just did a great job, and it's really neat to kind of see how it can truly make a difference and impact families.
Abby, I want to have a shout out for Lock Jewelers because they are just rock solid on helping people in crisis all throughout the county.
Yep.
I mean, on many different fundraiser organizations, they step up big time.
It was amazing. And so when I went in and talked to Al, he was like, yep, we'll get, the diamond's valued at $1,000. He thought it would come in at $1,500. And he called me 3 weeks after we had finalized everything and was like, I just don't feel right about this. I said I was going to do $1,500. So he threw in an additional $400 gift card to help with the setting of the ring or, whatever you wanted to do with that. So yeah, he's been amazing. Their staff has just been fantastic. And they're actually going to be there the night of to actually give away the diamond. So.
Okay. Abby, I do have something for you here.
Yeah.
We'll get this started here.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
And if I could just say that, the crisis nursery has 3 staff, right?
It's amazing.
So we think about the people that they serve, and it's a place where they're not coming, and not to say that the services in the county are bad, because we have to provide safety for our children. The families are afraid. They're afraid to get their children today. So if we can build more mutual self-help and more groups where families feel comfortable in coming, and then they build on the strength of their family, rather than looking at the deficits.
Or
And
feel like it's
oftentimes
threat.
when you're in crisis, you never look at your strength. That's the last thing you look at. So from our organization, as a statewide organization, providing the Circle of Parents group, which is what we do for them, they would like to expand that. They would like to have one at Howard Lake and Monticello. But as you know, and if you ever run a nonprofit, you can spend an enormous amount of Miss Abby Dahl's time trying to keep the budget together to do that and then to serve the families. So I just really cannot tell you how important they are to your county.
And how much you guys have supported us. I mean, the county is just a huge, and the fact that Tom Kelly is going to be there the night of and just kind of advocate for us, I think is great. So I want to give a shout out to you guys and everybody within the county that just kind of helps really the people that surround this county and make up the county. Really, we could not thrive without them or you guys. So thank you so much for your support to kind of help us grow. We have a long road ahead of us, but with the people that we have in our community, we'll definitely get there.
Provide an essential service for people that need it
Yep.
and don't know where to turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys so much. I really appreciate this.
So we'd like to give you
Thank you.
And I don't know if there's a way that we can do a Photoshop or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That's why we keep the media here.
Oh, but I know.
As our personal photographer.
We went through Charlie first to talk about this award, so I'm really sorry that, he's not here, and we certainly send our condolences. But, just, those little props for photo ops, right? Plus you can put all the materials. Yeah.
Self-promotion.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's okay.
The developer in us never ends, right? Good, and wear it all month. It is just great.
It'll stay on. Well, this is for.
Yep, and that is the award. I'll stay in the middle, maybe hold it.
Great.
So great, thank you so much. Appreciate what you do.
All right, appreciate what you do. Great. 1, 2, 3. I'll give you a couple more. Good.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
And then, there's, oh, you got our press release.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy to tell you that you are now one of my priority counties. My priority counties are those counties who have the highest number of out-of-home placement. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I live here, I'm just so gracious.
Okay, Mike, you want to, Owners Committee?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Wright County Owners Committee of the Whole met on March 29th at the Wright County Public Works Building. Members attending were the commissioners, plus Lee Kelly coordinator. Others attending: Mark Mattice, Steve Job, Brad Hatfield, Sue Virgin, Ralph Burrell, Alec Halverson, Eric Stennis, and Barb Holmquist. The meeting was brought to order by Chair Spotsky, and we comment on the purpose of the meeting, give a little background, because as everybody knows, the Public Works is moving out to a new building. And then the question is, what do we do with the existing building? How do we maximize our space issues that we have all through the county? There was discussion on how to do this in time. It was a little early on this because we weren't going to do this until Public Works actually moved out, but being some of the dynamics that are coming here with the courts and with everything else, we decided, well, let's have a committee to hold so everybody gets on the same page as which direction do we want building committee to go on this. And the was to revamp certain areas of the building to fit the needs of all departments. And we had a handout from Steve Job from the Surveys Department. He had a map that's on that should be on the website, Mark, I believe. They proposed, and it's subject to change there, is to try to make sure we meet the needs of the parks, the surveyors, and the potential of the extension moving out there to help alleviate some other space issues we have here. Because what we want to do with this is want to make sure that when we change this, we want to come up with a good plan that's a configuration that's not just short-sighted, it's more long-term, addressing the issues with all the space, which, as we all know, has been a challenge to try to place people, and we don't want to be spending money short-term. We want to try to get a little bit more bang for our buck on this. Since the highway building is going to have the larger tempered storage, they're going to be vacating 100% of the shop area, which wasn't originally there. And it's nice because that improves some of the issues for the parks and other people, and hopefully at some point in time the veterans van could be in one of those buildings inside instead of outside. We did a kind of assessment of the building with the HCM to go kind of some of the things, ADA compliant. We have some issues. We have a lot of deferred maintenance on that building that needs to be addressed. And at that same time, we wanted to try to, as we're doing that, reconfigure it and try to get, like say, the long-term strategy. I won't go through the whole thing because it was extensive minutes on deferred maintenance and wish list and everything else. But the idea was that we're going to have a series of meetings on how to deal with this. I know that Park Commissioner Mark Mattice, along with Steve Job and Sarah Chur from Extension, are going to have a meeting pretty quick on looking at different alternatives and what their needs are. I did talk with Brad Hatfield today, and he was going to measure the storage area that Extension has down in the basement and get that back to Coordinator Kelly to make sure we factor that in for the space requirements. And the idea, this is a continuing discussion on this, and we'll have to keep going through the process and find out where it ends up. And Mr. Chair, I don't want to go too lengthy into this because we had a lot of discussions on it, but it's a work in progress. But I feel it was important and good to have the committee of the whole there to kind of set the direction for the building committee on how we want to do this. So we have a direction, so we don't come back and get this bogged down committee. And without further talking, Mr. Chair, I'll approve the minutes. There really was no recommendation on this, though.
I'll second that.
Motion by Potter, second by Houston. I think as much as anything, part of the recommendation was to wait till the new guy came on board to become came on board to become a part of this process. And
Correct.
We're trying to figure out where to go, but yeah, there's other things that we're doing to go on.
And I think in the meantime, I assume somebody's having some communication with Extension?
Yeah, actually, I think they're meeting today,
It's coming up really quick.
Thursday?
I don't remember the date, but I know they'd set something up.
It's this week, I know.
It might be.
Is anybody that's in this room right now a part of that meeting or not? I just want to make sure Extension feels welcome and nobody suggests to them that
I'm trying to think if it
there's not
isn't
room
today.
for them out there, that it's not a good fit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
If you know what I'm saying.
yeah, and it might be today, and there's something going on today, other than the meeting this afternoon with the Tri-County Lab, that I couldn't go to the Tri-County Lab because I had to be somewhere else. So it might be today, and that's...
It's coming up. It probably is this week. I didn't write it down, but I did
It
talk
is
with
this week,
Extension
and it might be today.
about this, and they are you know, and with Mark and that, we're gonna get together and see what we can do and how we can make this fit. I think it's a good thing for them, extension, to be out there with it because of their programs and their interaction with the park, and it's increasing. But I believe them, and I have talked to them on a few different occasions about this.
Yeah, they seem very interested. They're excited about having possibly more room,
Yeah.
because they are packed in there, and it's not convenient for some of the things they do.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they have, what they have for storage needs, if they have any outdoor sorts of things that would,
No,
if that
not
would provide a
really.
little bit of a storage that they don't have right now or not, but.
No.
Okay.
Just, they do have storage needs, so, with all the 4-H stuff. And everything in one area would be much more convenient for them than what they currently have.
Yeah, because there shouldn't be any problem with finding, whether it be one of those storage buildings out there somewhere, is a little bit of space for them to store some
No,
stuff.
yeah, it won't be an issue at all. There's a lot of room out there. We just have to look at it with an open mind.
Okay, so we need a motion on the minutes,
Motion
and
second has been made.
motion second's been made. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Advisory committees, advisory board updates. Chris?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, all of us were at the quarterly Township Officers Association meeting last Thursday and had some good discussion. Senator Anderson was there and Representative Marion O'Neill was there also. And we talked about the solar issue, and it seems like the townships maybe weren't completely aware of what was going on as far as what the ordinance is, and also what impact it might have on their township. So it was a good meeting. A couple of things that came up was Representative O'Neill talked about that Excel will be looking for 24,000 acres for solar coming up, and
Throughout Minnesota.
throughout Minnesota, right?
Yeah, not in Wright County.
No. And right now, solar is about 18 to 20% efficient, whereas looking at the Sherco plant in Becker and the nuclear power plant in Monticello, they're about 95% efficiency. So there's still some concerns. And going forward, one gentleman mentioned that with technology going the way it is, that maybe in a few years, the solar panels will be that much more efficient. So it's still, there's still a lot of questions, and as we move through this process, hopefully we can get it figured out. And Buffalo Safe Schools meeting last week also, and Commissioner Potter was there too. We always have a nice big group, and they did talk about crisis nursery a bit, and they had, I think, 400 domestic situations this last year, and they're involved, 90 children in need of protection, the CHIPS. They do have the summer food program in the Buffalo schools, free for all school-age children, and they'll have breakfast and lunch available at the Tatanka School. So, or wait, nope, forget that. That was my next thing. Through the school program, and they're working on the drug court. They continue to work on that, and then my last little thing about the conference that I went to in Washington for the National Association of Workforce Boards. One of the things that was really cool was Michigan has this My Career Quest, and it was in 2015, they had this location where they had 30,000 square feet, 90,000 square foot building, and they brought in 6,000 kids between the ages of 6th grade and 12th grade. They had 4 different quadrants, and each quadrant was, the kids spent 30 minutes, and there was healthcare, information technology, construction, and manufacturing. And they had all these different cards too that talked about the different careers and in the 4 quadrants and what they might earn and that kind of thing. And it was a real hands-on process. So 87% of the students said that they learned of opportunities they didn't know of before. The individual companies couldn't promote themselves. They could just promote their industry. And this year in May, they're going to have 9,000 students followed by a job fair in the afternoon. It's expensive, $150,000. They got grants, but they need, like 900 volunteers for this big job. They use the criminal justice students to help with the flow. So it was very, very well done, and I enjoyed that presentation a lot. And right after I got back, then Rotary did a field day at our Wright Technical Center, and that's expanded so much from when it was first built in the early 70s. I mean, we went in and, they've got this automotive technology, early child care and career, elementary careers, construction, cosmetology. I mean, it's like this little beauty shop set up. Engineering, they do 3D printing out there. They've got a 3D printing machine.
And this is in Monticello?
No, right here in Buffalo.
Oh,
Right,
Buffalo.
technical, yep. But they, have, it's funded by the 8 school districts. They've got like 600 kids, I believe, and a lot of apprenticeships. There's 700 kids, and apprenticeships, I believe, are like 25 of them. So we've got this really wonderful resource right here in the county. But law enforcement, graphic communications, welding, health science. So it's something that parents and students might want to look at this as an opportunity if they are looking at any of those kinds of careers. And then a lot of, one of my classes or sessions that I went to was meeting the needs of opportunity to youth. I mean, there's 20,000 kids that grow out of the foster care system without being adopted. So there's a lot of challenges for them. Just some other little statistics. 66% of high school graduates, 25% enrolled in college finish it. Graduates are underemployed. 60% attend some form of higher education. 33% of jobs require degrees. And out of 10 people, 1 has a master's degree or higher, 2 have a 4-year degree, and 1 has a 1-year certificate. 25% of bachelor associates degrees earn less than $34,000, and 25% of associate's degrees earn more than $68,000. So it's just a real kind of across the board. So anyway, it's good to think in terms of, career paths, to look at the big picture, and that's what I got out of it. But we're missing a lot of the people that are in manufacturing now. There's a lot of jobs that are opening and being created all the time with technology. So that's about it.
To piggyback off of that, I did attend the tech school in high school for 2 different years. We are blessed in Wright County to have this. This isn't prevalent all over.
No.
I think Representative O'Neill said there's only like 2 left or something that do high school tech.
Oh, really? Okay.
There's only 2 left, and it's like, you talk about opportunity for those that aren't going to go to college, this is it. The trades are looking for people. I know Ray Procurate, the director out there, is having a hard time finding teachers.
Right.
One of the classes I took was machine shop, and they had to stop that because they couldn't find a teacher for it. The welding class out there is so busy, they're hiring a second teacher. I know the ones that do the carpentry for the school, you get on a waiting list to get that. And if you're fortunate, the second year you might get in on that because it's just so popular. It's a good alternative because not everybody's going to go to college, and some of the trades need help, and this is a perfect starting point for them.
I know the nursing assistant positions, they work in the healthcare, and they can basically, when these kids get out of this school, they can pass their state test and get a job at at one of the nursing homes, and they're starting at about $14 or something an hour. So, you know, you get right out of high school, and if you're interested in the healthcare field, you know, it's a great opportunity. So it's just something for people to take a look at, so as another alternative.
Mike?
Mr. Chair, yesterday I went down as part of AMC Transportation Policy Road Show, for lack of a better word. We've been going around the state and try to get legislators and elected officials more dialed in with some of the transportation needs throughout the whole state. Yesterday was down in Rochester. A couple weeks before we were in Albert Lee, and a good dialogue, getting the word of the need to expound that, because some people hear it, goes away. We had the Lieutenant Governor, Tina Smith, this is the first time I met her, along with Commissioner Zelli there, and I've been following around Commissioner McLaughlin so much, I think he's going to get a restraining order on me pretty quick. But it's been good information about where the needs are, because all parts of the state, it's not us versus them. We're all in this together and trying to get the legislators to come up with a solution, even if it's not what you exactly want. You got to fix the roads. That's the core function of government. And they're right now, and I personally feel that they're posturing down there, which they should knock that off and actually get something done. But the next meeting will be a couple weeks, and it'll probably be in Brainerd. And they're looking at possible Mankato and Duluth also to try to get this. But being that it's a short session, we might not get there in time for this.
You know, I was reading an article, and they were talking about that if we called it stadium roads, if we put the word stadium in there, there's a really good chance that we might be able to get them to, you know, move on something. Unfortunately.
And also with this in reference, there's the articles in what's online, you go Fiscal Times, that has had a series of articles on transportation funding and the lack thereof, and some of the misconceptions and what happened with our investment dollars versus gross national product, where we used to be and where we are now. And it brings to light some of the problems that we have now that have been just, the funding part has been just eaten away a little bit every year, and now we're not at the cliff yet, but we're not too far away from it if we don't address the issue. And that's all I have to say, Mr. Chair.
Just one thing I'll give an update, because Mark asked about it a couple weeks ago relative to the River Rider, and I did get an update from Shelley, who's handling it for us, and apparently MnDOT has now asked to kind of set up something. They've set up some sort of appointment over at Sherburne County to review some of the audit material or something like that. I'm not exactly sure even what, because I talked to the court or the administrator over in Sherburne, and he didn't have much details. I did tell him, Lee, if he could kind of, if he hears anything any information we ought to know over here to let you know would probably be as good as way as any. So
Sure.
you may be hearing something. Is it Steve Tyler? Is that his name?
Steve Taylor, yeah.
Steve Taylor over there in Sherburne. He may be kind of updating you on some stuff, or someone else maybe as well. But so I don't know. That's supposed to happen, I think, like in a week or so. So maybe this whole thing can get wrapped up shortly after that. I'm not
good.
sure.
You're assuming that
It's in
they're
MnDOT.
going to get it and actually do something right away with it.
Well, actually, my fear is that they feel as though they have to find something that we did wrong,
Yeah.
and that, you know, that's going to create some sort of an issue. You know what I mean? That's my fear, that
I-
they're looking
I'm-
for something like that. But
Yeah, I'm afraid of that too.
yeah.
I
But
mean, this
anyhow.
thing has dragged on so long. Just-
So that's where that's at.
I can't think of anything right now.
Well, how did you enjoy your first meeting at the townships? Our
that's
urban,
right.
our urban commissioner.
Urban Commissioner.
Now, did you ever attend those when you were on the town board, or? Because they must
Oh,
have had that group back then, I
I'm
assume.
trying to think. I might have gone to one or two of them. Normally I didn't.
Because, well, I know they had them back then, because when I got on this board in '91, you would have been on the town board at that time.
Yep.
And those meetings were taking place back then in '90, '91, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I might have went to one or two of them.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I think I remember Louis Laser, was that, Louis being
Yeah.
at some of those
Yeah,
meetings.
but he was before my time.
He was on in '91.
Yeah, but he was on before my,
Oh,
He
you got,
was-
you
he was
weren't,
on-
you weren't on in 91? Okay, so you were like
Planning
93 or
zoning,
94?
no, when were you mayor, Mike?
That was 93 through 96.
So it would have been around 95 that I would have been on.
Okay.
But Louis Laser was not on the board at that time.
Was not on then, okay. I remember Louis being at those meetings because he was kind of a fun character. But,
That's an interesting way of putting it.
well, I say that positively,
Yes,
you know,
I-
he was just kind of a fun, he was
He was-
outgoing and
kept it
had a
lively.
good outgoing personality, you know.
Keeps it lively.
Okay, well, there being no further business at 9:47, we are adjourned.